I'm going to need some whiskey.
Yeah,
apparently.
Say one thing about whiskey. It's allowing me to make smart, rational decisions.
You haven't even had any whiskey.
We're going to drink so much damn bourbon tonight. It's going to be a bad deal. I'm probably going to wake up naked on the bathroom floor again, but.
Okay, Justin.
That could be my night. We don't know. Do you want to pour?
I do know. That's not going to be your night.
That's not it. Okay, fair enough. The wife has spoken.
You start getting into the history. We're really changing roles here.
I know. Well, you don't have to stick to the same roles that everybody else does. You can do whatever you'd like. What?
Where are you going with this?
Nothing. I'm just women power. Let's go. So we're drinking Clyde May's bourbon, which we already told you, which is named for a moonshiner, Clyde May. And before we talk about the whiskey, let's talk a little bit about who is Clyde May. He was born to a single mother shortly before the Great Depression, which actually was not all that common for the time. And he served the Army's 77th Infantry Division during World War II and earned a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart while commanding a 12-man rifle squad. He was wounded in battle, obviously with the Purple Heart, which goes to those injured in battle. But that turned out to be a good thing for whiskey-loving Conecuh Ridge locals of Alabama. He quickly became one of the most wanted moonshiners in Alabama, and some say even in the States. Finally, in 1973, they caught up with him. He was caught, and he spent 8 months in the federal penitentiary at Maxwell Air Force Base. But then he was paroled, and after his 8 months, and soon after his release, did he say, I can't do this anymore? No, he started setting up his next still. So distilled since 1946, legal since just 2001 in Alabama, which was interesting to me. Over 70 years of authenticity led to Clyde May's whiskey to become the official state spirit of Alabama, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now it is distilled in Indiana by MGP, which we've talked about them before. They make a lot of different whiskeys, but it is bottled still, according to Clyde May's aged and bottled to his original specifications. They've tried to keep it relatively the same, but as we know from talking, due to specifications the law has placed on making whiskey and making bourbon and being able to even call it a bourbon, the recipe may have been changed to adhere to today's standards. Different products they have, and all of them follow closely Clyde's first recipes. Alabama style whiskey, that's the exact recipe that he used to make. A special reserve, a cask strength, a straight rye whiskey. And then today we're drinking the straight bourbon whiskey, aged 4 to 5 years in 53-gallon oak barrels. I did get 94 points in 2018's Wine Enthusiast competition. It's won gold at the New York World Wine and Spirits competition. Should we do a little review of this guy, and then we'll answer some questions?
Yep.
Actually, let's answer the questions real quick because this is for tonight. Should I start Christian Kirk or Keon Coleman tonight? I have trouble trusting either of them.
I know. I do think Keon Coleman is going to see more targets because I really think this Bills offense is going to be put in a position where they're going to need to pass more than they have been.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that's hard for me to trust it.
The Bills offense is a little frustrating fantasy football wise because it seems like any given day somebody will pop off and the others won't. It's kind of similar to how, you had all the Chiefs wide receivers 3 years ago. And they took turns who would be the good one. And I feel like that's Bills. I mean, Josh Allen's going to get it to Keon Coleman one game, and then the next it's going to be a lot of Dalton Kincaid or a lot of Khalil Shakir. But Christian Kirk and the Jaguars have just been so off.
They have been.
He had 3 targets last week. He caught one of those for -1 yards, I believe it was. Like it's
and
hard.
I think the Bills are going to come away with this game.
Yeah.
So I just don't think they're going to be able to run like they've been doing, which is why I think the receivers for the Bills are going to do better.
Yeah. So I think Keon Coleman is the answer here. I've been very disappointed in Christian Kirk because I thought he was going to be a beast this year. Not so much so far. So I think you have to keep him on the bench until he can show that he can pick it up. So thanks for checking in, Carter Smith. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't mind. It helps us a lot. Jason says, hi, do I trade Adams for Ayuk and McConkey? I don't hate that trade. I do think Adams is going to get a little bit better if they make I hate to say it because I love Gardner Minshew, but Aiden O'Connell did provide some spark. Now, that could be just the backup quarterback comes in, the defense isn't ready for him.
I like the trade.
You like getting Ayuk and McConkey.
Yeah.
I still do too. Ayuk's got to pick it up eventually. You would think. I would hope.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it just hasn't been. We haven't seen it yet, but
yeah,
he's not getting paid for. There's a reason they paid him. The talent's there. I think we're gonna see it. It's just
and then
time.
And then McConkey. I would temper my expectations for a couple weeks here because Justin Herbert has that ankle sprain. He may miss some games. They're also going to be without their first two or their first tackles, not first, both of their tackles, left and right tackle, are going to miss at least one game. That's going to make it rough for the passing game. They do run the ball, but I still think Ayuk and McConkey have more value overall than Devontae Adams.
And you're saying, the upside from mid-season for McConkey and potential booms. I just think the two of them, I think it's a good trade. I would do it.
Yep. I agree with that. And I will have a trade value chart coming out this week. So make sure you check out sportsgamblingpodcast.com for that. It'll be under the fantasy football, or you can search author Justin Mark. Shane F chiming in, asking, should I start Moss or Brian Robinson tonight? I like Brian Robinson.
I'm starting Brian Robinson.
Yeah. I don't trust Zach Moss. They have not been running the ball very effectively. He has led the backfield more, but I still think this team's got to get Chase Brown more involved. Will tonight be that night? I don't know. But the Washington's defense, their defense is pretty bad, but I think they're worse against the pass. So I expect the Bengals to move the ball a lot through the air. I think the Commanders need to slow the game down, keep Burrow off the field by running the ball. So I think Brian Robinson will have a better game. And Jason pulled the trigger on the trade.
Nice. I hope it helps you.
I do too. Yeah. Hopefully we didn't mislead you wrong.
No. We had justification.
I know. Yeah, no, I like it. What about Marvin Harrison and Bowers for Travis Kelce and Rachaad White? I would keep Bowers and Harrison. If you're getting Harrison and Bowers, I would take it. I know Travis,
as much as it pains me, he's not.
Trav is probably going to bounce back, yes.
At some point, but when?
And Rachaad White is, I think, with we talked about it a little earlier if you missed it, Bucky Irving is going to get more carries. So
he took Kelce and White.
Yeah, I would keep Harrison and Bowers.
No, he took it though.
Oh, you took the trade.
Gotcha. Did you do the trade? That's what I'm interpreting.
You're interpreting it as the trade has gone through. Unfortunately, I don't love it. I think Travis Kelce, like we said, does have to bounce back. But earlier we were talking about Bucky Irving is going to see the field more. Rachaad White's going to see it less in that sense. So, all right, let's talk.
Travis Kelce has disappointed me so bad this season.
You and me both.
I just can't handle it.
You and me both.
Can't handle it.
Why at the top of the third round did I think, even though I have Sam Laporta, I could use another tight end? I could have gotten somebody so much better.
Travis Kelce, and he's supposed to be. I agree. Okay, put that up there. I agree. He can't be like this all season, but last season we didn't see him he was so.
He had a really good couple first weeks,
and then he was way down, and we didn't see him back to his true form until playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs,
postseason, and that's not what we want. We want him like that. During the season,
you can only do so much when you're podcasting and going on Eras tours and hanging out with Swifty at the tennis thing that he was at in his suspenders and weird hat and play football. You can only.
So you're saying he can't have a life and be a football player?
I think he's partying a little too much, and I think.
How do you know? Are you monitoring his activity?
Yeah, they share photos and video of it anytime those two are seen together. So yeah.
What if it was all over a weekend?
It wasn't.
Not over a weekend. I guess that would be.
It wasn't. He plays football on the weekends.
I know.
But yeah,
oh my goodness.
I also think that we started to see him slow down a little bit.
We did, and I thought it was. This is why it makes me nervous. His performance so far this season makes me nervous because last season we saw maybe he was slowing down, and I chose to take it as a fluke because of how he performed postseason. And now we're starting the season off very rough. He hasn't even hit double-digit fantasy points.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a touchdown, nothing.
Doesn't he have 69 total yards this year? I believe. Nice.
No, he has
34 plus 30 plus 5. That's 69.
Oh yeah, it is.
I got you.
I can't do math right now.
Maybe that was his intention. He wanted to get that number.
And he's hanging on to it, and
up.
now he's gonna. Okay, I've reached it. No, I don't think that's it.
I don't either. All right, let's talk about this whiskey.
Let's do. Did you smell it? Did you sniff it? Give it a good old sniff.
Yeah. It smells like. I mean, it's very standard bourbon smell. Can kind of. I can almost feel like I'm starting to pick up when it's an MGP product because they smell very stereotypical. They smell like you smell them and you don't smell much different from, oh, that's the bourbon, like the sweetness of the bourbon plus some oak from the barrel. That's what I get on the smell.
It just smells,
would you agree?
Yeah. I'm not picking up anything like unique.
Right.
That would make it.
Which is okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't smell bad, but it also, it doesn't.
It smells, I smell that sweetness though. There's a sweetness there.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't have said unique. Sorry.
Sorry, Clyde. It's got good flavor though. What are you picking up?
I have to do 3 tries. Justin.
All right, you try your 3.
What are you?
You want
Don't
me to
influence me though.
Well, again, we're if you're just tuning in, we're drinking Clyde May's straight bourbon whiskey, named for the moonshiner Clyde May, out of Alabama.
What are you getting?
Baked fruit. I don't know what fruit, but it's a baked fruit. It's like a baked apple or peach, but without the sweetness.
You took the sweetness out of apples.
Yeah. And you just have like a baked fruit that doesn't have a ton of sweetness, but it still tastes good. That's what I'm getting. At the end, there's a spice that gets me right back here.
Heat.
Well, a little spice, yeah. Otherwise, I think it's pretty smooth. This is a 92 proof, so it's nothing crazy. My parents picked up a 138 proof this weekend. I'm interested to try that. Yeah, are you getting anything else out of it? Or is that all you can taste now that I said it? Corn?
No, the apple to corn to heat. I taste a lot of corn.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the baked fruits
it feels like
really
a very fall bourbon.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe I'm just looking for it, but
looking for it. The baked fruit really hit me on that taste. It almost reminds me of, you know how some Irish you get like a green apple? It's like that, but warmer and not as sweet. And
not
light,
green apple.
Not as light. Well, but apple.
Apple.
Yeah.
Like a baked red apple.
Yeah.
With no sweet. Not green. That's like sour.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Granny Smith apples. Those are sour apples, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
They are.
You can probably tell by looking at me, I'm not much of an apple eater.
What? Okay.
Yes.
But overall, I think this is a good whiskey.
Yeah.
I think it'll.
It's got good flavor. I like it.
I think this time we should maybe get a little creative with our old fashions.
Now, last time I got in trouble for that.
But because it's very fall-y. So I feel like.
Since it's your idea, it's okay.
No.
You didn't do the standard. How are we supposed to know?
No, Justin.
And now it's because I think we should
last
do this
week's whiskey was their cigar rye.
Yes.
So it was very different, and I wanted to see how that came out in an old fashioned. This with because you do get that baked goods, baked fruit.
Yeah.
It's very fall and I just think with I don't know, we have some good bitters for that.
Yeah, no, I agree.